Hi, I'm Shelley. Welcome or welcome back to my channel. In this video, I'm going to talk about a bookish project that I did last year. If you've seen any of my videos, over a year ago now, I put 12 books that I thought were the ones that I've had on my shelves the longest, at least around 5 years probably, and more. So I put those 12 in a jar, and then every month I picked one to read. And I did mostly accomplish my project that I attempted to do. So these are the 12 books here. I'm not sure if you can see them all. It's the 12 books there that I read. I think I have them in the right order from the month that I picked them. So I'll just go through. I won't really go into each book. I'll just basically say what it's about. What did I do with my notebook? Oh, I'll be right back. Like when they were published, the author basically just a couple sentences about each one, and just probably say why I think maybe I didn't pick it up, why it was on my shelf so long, and whether or not I enjoyed it, and if I'm going to keep it or not. I'll put them up here in a couple of piles. Ones I'm probably going to keep, and some maybe I'm going to donate. So I think so we'll start off with January. Of course, last year, January 2025, which is a long time ago, the first book I picked was Moby Dick by Herman Melville. Of course, this was probably one of the longest books. It did take me probably 3 months to get through, but I just took my time. Another channel that I watch, a person, Tristan Reads the Classics, I think he's called. He mentioned in one of his videos, if you're new to classics or you don't read them a lot, to just read them in short bursts, like maybe take 10, 20 pages, just read a few pages at a time. Don't try to read a large chunk. And that's what I did, which is why it took me so long. But I did enjoy this book more than I thought I would. It is a whale of a tale. It was published in 1851, and I probably didn't retain a lot that I learned about the whaling industry back then. In the early 1800s, it was certainly very dangerous time, and I learned that where you were on the ship, like if you were just lower on the scale, you just got a lower portion, the lowest portion of whatever was earned in that trip. And of course, owners, or the captains got a lot more. Of course, this one is Captain Ahab, and of course is obsession with a whale, and really how that obsession and thoughts of revenge of the whale took over his life and basically just kind of made him a shell of what he was. I did enjoy this one. I would recommend it if you haven't read it. And I guess the only reason why I probably didn't pick it up off my shelf was because it was such a big book, and of course the topic. And I think if I had tried to read a lot at the same time, I probably would have just put it down and not finished it. But I think I'll put this into the to keep pile. I don't know if I'll ever read it again. My husband might want to read it. I know there's like a movie adaptation. Maybe I'll watch that. But I think I'll keep it on my shelves just because I actually did read it. I can say, yes, I did read it. February's pick was Alias Grace by Margaret Atwood. And that one was published in 1996. And it's historical fiction. It is fiction, but it's based on real events of Grace Marks, who was, I guess, she worked for her employer, a wealthy employer, and she's accused of helping in the murder of him and his housekeeper and mistress. And she was also like a housekeeper as well. And it talked about the trial and everything that went on at the time with her. And even like the doctors interviewed her and whatnot after she was charged with murder and whatnot. And I really did enjoy this book. I think I probably didn't pick up this one because it is a bigger book and it is an older book, and Margaret Atwood's writing can be a little bit scary at times, but I'm enjoying her writing more and more. So this one I will be keeping because I have picked up a couple more of her books, so I would like to get a collection going of her books. That's those. March is The Green Dwarf and Other Early Fiction by Charlotte Bronte. It's that one. This one I did not finish. I did read, I'm not sure if I read, got into 30 pages or something. And I think I probably had this one on my shelf so long because it was a classic. And it's just short stories. I mean, I did read Jane Eyre by Charlotte Bronte and really enjoyed it. But this one, I just couldn't get into it. I think maybe with classics, maybe I need to be able to listen to the audiobook, or at least some of it, to kind of get the nuance of the voices and the way they spoke. Because, of course, when you're reading these, they don't speak the same as they do now in modern literature, so that kind of hindered my reading experience. But it won't put me off reading more of Charlotte Bronte. But now this one, I think I will donate this one. I won't be keeping that one. April month, from the jar, I picked Michael Crummey's Galore. He is a Newfoundland author, and this book is set in Newfoundland over a period of time. They even have the different families that are involved. There is a couple different families involved or were kind of at odds with each other. And there is a fantastical element in this. As it says at the beginning, a mute and naked stranger arrives in paradise deep in the belly of a whale. A widow's family is haunted by the curse she placed on the local merchant as a young woman. And so on. So this one, of course, was Outport, Newfoundland. They're very isolated. Of course, back then, no electricity, plumbing. I mean, not like now, of course. So I did really enjoy this one. I enjoy his writing. His writing really does describe well what life was like back then in Newfoundland. And I will be keeping this one for now, just to see if my husband wants to read it. If not, I would probably donate it, because I don't think I will be reading it again. And I'm not sure why I didn't pick up this one before. I guess this one, of course, is historical fiction because it is from years ago, so that might be why I didn't pick up that one before. In May, I picked Life of Pi by Yann Martel. This one was published in 2001. I forgot to say, Galore was published in 2009, so that, it's not an old book. Green Dwarf and Other Stories, I think, was published in 1883. Alias Grace was published in 1996. So this one, it's a fairly new one. Well, it's 25. This is 2026, so this one's like 25 years old now. It is considered a modern classic. I don't know why I didn't pick this one up before. I guess it's just one of the books that I kind of just kept getting moved from one TBR to another, or I'll read that one at some point. It's One Boy, One Boat, One Tiger, a modern classic. That's what it says on the back. So it's really a boy. He gets shipwrecked. Not shipwrecked, he's on a boat. There's a storm, and then he gets into a lifeboat, and he doesn't realize till after he's in the lifeboat that there's a tiger, and there's another animal who meets an unfortunate end, I guess, is on that boat floating for days and days and days. I really did enjoy this one, but I'm not going to read it again, so I did really enjoy it, but I'm not going to read it again. I think I will donate it so that someone else can enjoy it, because it is a good story. June month, I read Moriarty by Anthony Horowitz. This is the second book in the series about Sherlock Holmes. It's, of course, in 1890s London. It was published in 2014, so it's a newer book. And this is just basically, this novel plunges us back into the dark and complex world of Detective Sherlock Holmes and Professor James Moriarty, dubbed the Napoleon of crime, in the aftermath of their fateful struggle at the Reichenbach Falls. So I really did. I enjoyed this book, but I'm not going to read it again. I do have I might pick up I think there's a third one now. I'm not sure, and I might pick it up and I might not. But I'm not going to read that one again. So I think I will donate that one. And it's like The Life of Pi, just one of those books you kind of just shuffle to read at a later time. It's probably why it was on my shelf so long. And the next one in, July, I read The Fire Dwellers by Margaret Lawrence. She was a Canadian author, a very well-known Canadian author. I did read, this is the fourth book in the Manawaka sequence, and it's in the fictional town of Manawaka, Manitoba. This book, along with the rest in the series, there's 5, are just it's literary fiction. It's just about people's lives in small town Manawaka. And I did read the first 3. I'll show them after at the end. And I just never picked it up. I guess maybe because I don't read a lot of literary fiction. But I did enjoy it. And I will be keeping it. This one came out in 1969, I think. I tried to look up the publishing date for them. I'm not sure if I got them in the right order, but there's 5 in that series. And I guess I just really never picked it up because even though I enjoy it, I don't read a lot of literary fiction, like I said. So that's that one. August, I picked Great Tales and Poems by Edgar Allan Poe. This one was published in 1940. And this is just some poems and short stories by Edgar Allan Poe, of course. There's The Raven. The Raven's probably one of my favorite. And of course, there's The Telltale Heart. The poem Annabel Lee. The Murders in the Rue Morgue. Some of these, when I read them, I recognized them. I must have read them in another short story collection before, and I guess I probably never picked it up because I had read some of these before. Some were very familiar, and I guess maybe were books that are published earlier on. I guess I just never picked up, but I did enjoy this book. I'm going to keep it because I do, like I said, I enjoyed some of the poems and stories, and I probably will reread some of those again. So that will go on my keep pile. September, I read Starlight by Richard Wagamese. And he is was a Canadian Indigenous author. He passed away in 2017. This book was published in 2018. This was the last book he wrote. It wasn't finished. So it doesn't have an ending. Like in the back it says, really, you can kind of imagine yourself what you think would have happened where the story left off. And I've read many of his books, and I donated pretty well all of them after I read them, except for some short nonfiction books that I kept, because I don't see a lot of Indigenous authors in thrift stores or in little free libraries, so that's why I donated them. This one I am going to keep because it was the last book he wrote, and I really did enjoy it. I don't know why I didn't pick it up sooner. Like I said, I had it like at least 5 years. I guess maybe because it was his last. I'm not sure. There's probably maybe 3, 4 other books of his that I have not read. So I'll probably pick up those at some point and read, either from library or purchase them or ebook or whatnot. So that one will go on my keep pile. Let's see, next is October. October, I picked another big one. It seemed like a big one, but the last probably a couple hundred pages was just notes and talking about the people that were in the story. And this one was Midnight in Chernobyl by Adam Higginbotham. This was published in 2019. So I did pick up this book probably maybe a few months, less than a year after it came out. And of course, this is the untold story of the world's greatest nuclear disaster. Happened in the early morning of April 26th, 1986. I do remember hearing about it when it happened. The news doesn't travel as fast. Didn't travel as fast back then as it does now. This was before internet. So, of course, there was a lot of the story I didn't really know. And there was a lot involved. It took a while to read this one because there is a lot of, talking about government, like what happened at the time, what government officials and like the nuclear plant officials did at the time. And they spoke about like the people in the area, what happened to them, and the people that were actually at the plant at the time. And of course, people who had to try to close up the reactor, keep radiation from leaking. So I guess I didn't pick this one up because it was like a longer book, nonfiction. It is a bit dense. Of course, there's not a lot. There's lots that I probably don't remember, but I thought it was a very interesting read and it was well researched. So I do recommend this if you were ever interested in reading about Chernobyl or this book. I would recommend it. I'm going to put it in the maybe pile to keep. I'm not going to read it again myself, but I'm not sure if it's something my husband would be interested in. If not, I will probably donate it. I'm sure someone else would love to pick it up to read. All right, November, it's only 2 months left. The Diviners by another one by Margaret Lawrence. And this one was published in 1974, it says. And this is the last book in the Manahuaca sequence. Of course, that was book 4 I read, so this was book 5. And of course, the same reason for book 4, plus this one I think was a lot longer. But I guess like literary fiction, it's just something about life in a small town. But I did enjoy this one. There's like a backstory, like it will go back and forth from past to present. And I do enjoy that in stories. So I really did enjoy this one. I think this one might be one of my favorites, this one and one or the other. But they were all good books. And I am going to keep this one, of course, along with the other one. I'll put it down here so I can show you the other books after. But yeah, I'm going to keep those, and I'm probably going to read them again at some point because I did enjoy them, and it's been a few years since I read the older ones. The last book I picked up, December, was the last one left in the jar, and it's Different Seasons by Stephen King. It was published in 1982, and it's a collection of 4 novellas, and of course for the 4 seasons. And Hope Springs Eternal, Rita Hayworth in The Shawshank Redemption, Summer of Corruption, Apt Pupil, Fall from Innocence, The Body, and A Winter's Tale, The Breathing Method. And why I didn't read this one before, I think there was a time where I wasn't really reading much Stephen King. And I think with this one, I was familiar with most of half of the stories I knew, because Rita Hayworth in Shawshank Redemption, I've seen the movie Shawshank Redemption a number of times. So I basically knew the story. And also The Body, which was adapted into the movie Stand By Me, which I really enjoyed as well. Now, I did hear of Apt Pupil before, and it was definitely harder to read than I thought it was. Well, it's Stephen King, so it's going to be harder to read anyway. And but I did enjoy that story as much as you can enjoy Stephen King, if you know what I mean. And the last one, The Breathing Method, was very, very creepy, and I did enjoy that one. And I'm glad that I finally got to this and read the stories that those two adaptations were based on as well. And I'm going to be keeping this one. I did get rid of some of my Stephen King books a while ago, which was ones that I didn't really like, not going to read again. Just kind of paring down my shelves a bit. But that one is staying. I enjoyed that one. And that's it for those 12. And I didn't end up using the jar this year for anything. Maybe I will later on in the year. I mean, I don't have to start at the beginning of January. I can start, anytime throughout the year if I think of something, some other challenge I want to do for myself to read some of my books. So the Margaret Lawrence ones, the 5-book series, I really do love this. These editions, they're Penguin Modern Classics. So the first one, though I looked it up in a couple of places, it said it put them in different orders, but all the books are individual of themselves. So like you could read one before the other, it doesn't really matter. I just read in according to publication date. So the first one, A Bird in the House, was 1962 from what I could find. I really love the colors and the colors that they have on the covers and the art design. This one, Stone Angel, was 1964. A Jest of God was 1966. And so on the back of this one, it was a winner of the Governor General's Literary Award. And I think this one is also banned or challenged in Canada because of some sexuality content, I believe it was. That's those 3. And then, of course, there's the Fire Dwellers and the Diviners. Like I said, I love the covers and the colors on these. And of course, on the back as well, they have some coordinating colors. So they were good to read, and they're also nicer to look at. Like A Jest of God is this one. Kind of has like a coordinating color. Stone Angel is kind of the same as the front, and A Bird in the House, just this on the back. So like they're really beautiful editions. So that is it for that challenge. So hopefully I'll be back soon with another video. It took me a while to film this one. I filmed it once and I had to stop and start a few times, so I decided to just start over. Hopefully this all films good, so I don't have to do it over again. So thanks for watching, and I'll see you again soon with another video. Bye.